So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Ron,
I'm Janelle.
and you are listening to season 2 of So What? It's Just Sex. We're back.
We're back, and we're in a totally different place.
We are.
Yeah.
We're like it's. Janelle has this thing when because she travels a lot for work, and she's always like, "It's so weird. Yesterday I was asleep in California, and today I'm awake in Virginia."
Yeah, it's fucking weird. But this is even more weird. It's like the weirdest.
It is. We moved.
We moved across the country.
We did. We moved to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
To
Where's Brooklyn? Where's
New York.
New York?
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. Sorry, we digress.
Yeah,
But that is true. We are in Boogie Down, Brooklyn.
that's right.
I think
the
it might be
B-town.
Boogie Down Bronx.
It's
but
it's
I mean,
B-town. It's B-town.
I don't know if that's a thing. But we're in fucking Brooklyn.
We are. We're in Brooklyn. We have a studio-esque apartment.
They call it a one bedroom, but it's definitely a studio.
It's studio-esque.
Yeah, but it's cute. It's super cute. I have a green couch.
Yeah, and
And
you know
it was like my dream to have a green couch.
and you got that.
I got a green couch with gold legs.
You know, we should take a picture of it and put it up on Instagram so that people
We
can
will.
see your
We can.
your couch.
And we will.
Yeah, so we'll do that for everybody.
But yeah, we're in Brooklyn. We're across the country. We
Across
moved.
the country.
We decided to change it up a little bit and venture out here to see what's up.
You know, we have a lot to talk about on the move. But before we get into that, we ended last season not necessarily on purpose, but it turned out to be our big season finale, which is quite fitting that our live show was the season finale. I feel like we couldn't have asked for it to be better. Like it was serendipitous.
You were pushing for like a final
24.
show.
I wanted 24
you
episodes.
wanted for some reason. I don't know. Is that a nerd thing?
No, like most TV shows, like the show 24 is 24 episodes.
So that is a nerd thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Totally nerd thing. But I was like, what the fuck does it matter? We were like in the midst of a move and you were leaving, and then we were like deciding if we were even gonna come to New York.
It was like almost overnight.
Right. It was almost overnight.
It was
and
almost
so we
overnight.
did the live show, and then it was kind of like, why not end it on that?
Yeah. We definitely were on a high.
We were on a high.
That show was so fun.
It was so fun.
I mean, everything
I felt
was
like
great.
a superstar.
And then and we like had like a bunch of people there that were watching, and then they came up and talked to us after the show was over.
Yeah, people that we had never even met or
the majority
like,
of people we didn't know.
No, and because I had really assumed that the tickets that we sold were people that we knew.
Right.
Which mostly was true. But then there were some tickets that were sold to people that we did not know.
Well, there was only like 8 people there that we knew out of the like almost 50 people that were there. Yeah.
Yeah, which this is small potatoes. Like we totally get that, you know? Like that 45 people. But like to us, we're like this homegrown, you know, entity. We're not anything massive yet. And so we're trying to get there. But like meeting these people that we don't know, we've never met, and they're like telling us how we've impacted their life in some kind of way.
Yeah, like
that was incredible.
Yeah, and then it's like I think we talked about this, but I get super uncomfortable. You know, like
you didn't seem uncomfortable.
No, I know. I'm saying not in front of somebody, but like when I do my stand-up comedy and people come up after the show and they're like, "Oh my god, that was funny" or whatever. It's just like, okay, whatever, and we move on. But like when people talk to us, they say things like how it was impactful or that like we made a difference.
Yeah.
And then I just get all like, oh God. Like I just feel like it's like a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, but you know, I trust in us, and like we have the disclaimer that we're not like certified therapists or anything like that. We're just having a good time, and we're like offering up our opinion based on our experiences together, which is like what we've been touting this whole time in our podcast.
Good word usage.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate when you do that.
Yeah, I know.
For whatever reason. I don't know why, but okay.
It's a great word.
You do that all the time.
Because you have such a good vocabulary.
My wife has good words.
Yeah, it gets me hard.
Okay.
It's like, like speak to me. Like, your vocab gets my gonads.
She uses big words to get your dick hard. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like we're not trying to change the world
No.
here, but we're trying to have a good time and also kind of educate
Share.
people to a degree.
Yeah, we're
I
just sharing.
We're educating people on our experiences
Yeah.
and what we've been through.
It's
So.
it's just kind of like more like I went in I went over here, had some food, it was good, and then someone's like, I went there and had food and it was good.
Yeah.
But it's like
Are we like the Yelp review of
of just like
sexual
endeavors.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe who knows?
Who knows?
That could be a thing.
Yeah,
Actually,
we-
let's get on that.
Don't steal our ideas.
Don't steal our ideas.
We're gonna see the app and it's gonna be like inspired from. But no, the live show was awesome, and then we gave away toys from Reese and Rose,
Yes,
which
was so cool.
if you go back to our Toys R Us episode,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually kind of cool, you should go to that episode, listen, not just because there's a code there that you can save money on the Reese and Rose amazing sex toys, but it's also the birth point of this new show called Diet Kink.
I know, Diet King.
Yeah, so Chelsea and Brian, like, there's such a great show, and if you haven't heard it,
They're
you really
so
need
cute.
to.
I
know.
love them. I
know.
love them.
They're
I love
like
them. We were Snapchatting the other night.
yeah, it's almost like something you don't expect. You know, like when we started this podcast, we've met such great people on the show, and then like the relationships kind of blossom.
I
and it's
want to
just
say
like,
every single guest that we've had, we have a relationship with.
oh yeah, it's so amazing.
I don't know how you'd maintain that. Like if we were like Kim Kardashian status, like I'm not sure how we would maintain that. And this is just like future goals, but it's crazy like that we still talk
I
to
don't know.
every
Jimmy
single one.
Fallon looks like he's friends with 90% of his guests.
He's friends with like Justin Timberlake. Who wouldn't be friends with that guy?
Mm-hmm.
And he's friends with like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be friends with her?
So
I don't know.
yeah, but right
I'm
now
just
our
saying,
guest
like, all
list is the
our
same.
guest lists are like our ride or dies right now.
Yeah.
Like we have Fallon,
Yep.
we have DDLG,
Yes.
and we have Reese and Rose,
Yes.
Chelsea and Brian. I don't know. There's
And then the Snow Bunny OXO.
Snow Bunny. We haven't heard from her in a while, but you know, hey, I would be down to talk to her again.
Yeah, she's been busy.
She's been busy. But yeah, every person that we've had as a guest, we've maintained a relationship with, and I appreciate that
Yeah.
because I think we got to know each other on an like intimate level.
Yeah, and the whole like Christian and Mariano were already
Oh,
friends
yeah,
of
Christian
ours.
Mariano. Yeah, but they were
Yeah,
friends.
they were friends to begin with.
before, yeah.
But yeah, so like, you know, Chelsea and Brian, it's like, I just
Yeah.
love, you know, seeing what
we like
spawned.
inspired them to create their own podcast.
Yeah, and they're having like the best time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Like I was talking with Chelsea also. She's the one that talks the most. If you're talking to them on Instagram, it's
she's
her.
the chatty Cathy.
But I was talking with her too, and she was like, you know, feeling a lot of those things that we were feeling when we first launched our podcast.
Like what?
You know, the feeling of like this is a lot, and you know, it's like getting feedback from people can be like a little like daunting because you're just trying to like
Yeah.
share and stuff. So it's really cool. So I definitely shout out to them. You got to check out Diet King.
Shout out.
But we gave away their toys on our show, and people like hit
We
us
had
up.
a raffle.
We did, and people hit us up on Instagram.
One guy won like 2 toys though.
well,
That
because
was-
him and his wife.
yeah, they won both the toys.
Yeah, that was the guy that was that when I said the thing about flushing the toilet, and then he like smacked her on the arm in front of everybody, like
That was
calling her
so
out.
Funny.
She doesn't flush.
I had like this. I had this idea of how nervous I was gonna be, like standing up, or not standing up. We were sitting down,
Right.
But just sitting down in front of a crowd of people, even if it was 45 people, that how nervous I was going to be. And then when we got up there, and like you're sitting next to me, and we're chit chatting and doing our podcast, is like that's where I'm most comfortable. So I was totally fine.
Yeah,
I was like super
yeah.
nervous, but I was like super cool. Like I thought I should be more nervous than I actually was.
Every time I got out on stage before our shows together, I could barely function. You've seen me.
Together?
No.
You mean your stuff alone?
Yeah, when I'm
Yeah.
just doing my stand up, I'm like completely scared every single time. It didn't matter when it was. And then when I did the big shows, I was like couldn't even breathe until I walked out there.
Right.
The entire time leading up to the show, walking out with you, the whole thing, it felt like home.
Yeah.
Significantly better. I had such a better feeling internally doing a show with you than I have had doing even the biggest stand-up show.
Like we don't even. I feel like we don't have to try that hard. Like what we do here is, I feel like it's organic, and we just like talk from our heart. So it's not like we're trying to put on a show. It's whatever we're talking about is what it is.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like we're only, because even when we're in front of those people, we're still just looking kind of and talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know, we engaged people while we were.
Absolutely.
But So it's like I know you know me, so I feel like I could tell you anything.
Me
so,
too.
But
Yeah, I
I
feel like that
completely
too.
felt like the 45 people.
I've known you since 1990,
98.
1998.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah, we've been married and together a freaking long time.
A long time.
Yeah, a long time.
So I felt like there was no one else in the room. And then when I'd hear them giggle at the stuff we were saying, I was like, yeah.
Oh my God, there's people watching.
There's people. Good thing we didn't break out in
Oh
random
yeah,
sex.
there's an audience. Yeah, but then like there was one moment where we broke out in like the chicken wing.
Oh yeah, the chicken wing.
So that was fun.
Yeah, shout out to the season finale episode. But that was like such a big thing because we, leading up to the day of the show, I think we had only sold like maybe 15 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was super scared.
Yeah, so to go into the show and have like over 40 people there was phenomenal.
That was great.
Yeah, and those were the people that paid. We still had like 6 or 7 people that didn't pay. So I think there was like 50 people there if you include like Barry and you and I.
Right. And I kept telling you like it's going to be us and like 3 guys in trench coats
jerking off.
No clothes underneath. And that was like part of I said that in the episode. Like that's realistically what I assumed what was going to happen.
Oh, I know.
But that's not what happened.
That's not, and it was such a fun night, and it actually kind of almost like created this bug, like an addiction, where now like, you know, we were like, how do we get our show in front of more people, and how do we try to do more live shows? And when the whole idea of moving to Brooklyn came about, we were like, there's plenty of places there that we could branch out and do it.
Yeah.
So why did we decide to move to Brooklyn? Because, you know, that's just a topic we should talk about.
There's several reasons. Actually.
Let's break them down.
Let's break them down. This is boring.
Let's unpack. Let's unpack this. Let's go ahead and unpack this. So why did we move to Brooklyn?
I'm still really trying to understand the reason, to be honest. But the reasons in which led me here today. My sister moved back. We were from New York originally.
Born and raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah, born and raised.
Both of us.
In Brooklyn. So we've been away for a while, and we've been just doing our thing.
We were raising kids.
And
you don't want to raise kids in Brooklyn.
No.
No, nobody wants to do
You just don't.
No.
I mean, unless I was like an executive at NBC or something, and I could have like a nanny and like live in a penthouse where they felt like they had space. I mean, imagine like raising kids in this studio apartment.
Yeah.
Like, no, that wouldn't happen.
We can barely raise our dog here.
Yeah. So,
but she's thriving.
She's having a great time.
She loves it.
Bella loves it.
Yeah.
Bella is like loving Brooklyn.
She does. She definitely loves it. But continue. So
Okay.
we go away, raise kids.
So we go away to raise kids 17 years ago. And now our kids are grown. We have an 18-year-old and a 23-year-old. And it was just kind of like my 18-year-old was like, I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to go to college for a while. I'm not going to take a year off. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then, sorry for Bella barking. Bella BK is barking right now. But then our older son is going to college, and he's going to be there for like at least until June. So he's away. He's done. And not done, but like he's doing his thing right now. And then we're like just like we were like in a rut. We were in a rut.
Boredom. It's like
boredom.
Empty nest syndrome anymore.
Empty nest syndrome. Like we were bored. Like we lived in a beautiful place, and I've met some beautiful people that I will talk to I will have a relationship with for the rest of my life. But we were in somewhat of a rut, like doing the same routine every day, every weekend, every Friday, Saturday. We'd do the same thing, and I just needed something different. And it was
because of lack of options.
Lack of options.
Yeah.
We were in a small town.
Yeah, and like the only times that we could go someplace and do something is if we went and stayed in a hotel, like in the city. And
Wait,
San Francisco, it's like, huh?
Do you mean sex?
No, I just mean like going someplace and having a good time. Like if we want to go to San Francisco and drink and have fun, we'd have
an
to,
hour and a half drive.
and then we have to stay there, and it's like
Right.
$500 to stay there.
Yeah, like 300 to 500. Yeah.
And so then it's like we can't go do that. And if we want to have sex with people, we would have to like
That was
all-
nearly impossible.
like we were gonna hook up with this one girl, and everybody knows how difficult it is from our podcast for us to get a girl. And then we finally get one, and like she was ready to come over, and she was like, "I'm gonna go take a nap," and then all of a sudden our kid my sister comes and hangs out.
Your sister came to visit.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so it's like cock blocks everywhere.
Yeah, so
So
we
it
needed
makes it
something-
difficult,
We
yeah.
needed something different. And my sister came and my mom came, and then I was like, all right, well, we haven't been around family in a long time, so let's go try this out. And
Mm-hmm.
they're all in Brooklyn, so let's go.
So it's adulting in Brooklyn
Yeah, we're adulting in Brooklyn.
and seeing how that is.
We took, like, the other day, we took the train into
Thursday.
the village. Yeah, that was fucking cool. It was
Yeah.
on Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween Thursday.
Everyone was dressed up. They had the Halloween parade in the village. It
Yeah,
was-
in fact, I was over visiting a friend, and then I got on the train, and then I met you in Manhattan.
Yeah, that was like boom, boom, done. We're in Manhattan.
Yeah,
It's like a 20-minute train ride.
yeah, it's like $3.
Brooklyn is amazing on its own, and
Yeah.
then you have Manhattan, like the next borough over.
Yeah, it's actually 4 stops if you get the express.
It's so cool.
It's just very easy.
yeah.
So we decided to go and adult and live on our own.
Try this out for a minute.
We've never lived alone. We went from being children to being parents, and then so you're always had roommates, whether it be your parents or your children.
Yeah, I've never lived by myself.
Yeah. So this is
I've never lived by myself.
I know this first 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks have
Like
been.
even to this current day, I've never lived by myself.
No, I understand.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you understand.
Yeah. I've never lived by myself.
No, you haven't.
I either had roommates
Yeah,
or children.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So this is the closest we get to living by ourselves, but we're kind of together.
We're totally together.
totally
Not kind
together.
of together. We're totally together.
But there's things to get used to though. Like the other day, we were sitting on the couch, and I like pulled Janelle's panties down, and I start to like finger her a little bit and go down on her, and she's like, "All right, let's go to the bed." And then I was like, "Yeah, this was like, it's just awkward to like be able to just whip your dick out and just fuck at any moment because there's nobody around."
You could literally walk like around naked.
Yeah,
And
no one can see in our
I
windows.
asked that you don't sit on my new green couch naked.
You did.
I
You
mean,
did.
thank you for not doing that
No,
yet.
I have not done
I
that.
appreciate that.
Your ass was on the couch, but it's your ass, your couch. I get it.
No, it wasn't. I like made sure that I wasn't pressing on the couch. You know what I mean?
Is that why we got off the couch? Because you
Yes.
didn't want to juice on your couch?
I got a beautiful green couch with gold legs. I don't want anybody's juices on it.
Okay. Well,
At all.
that makes sense.
I want my cute green couch to stay intact for as long as possible.
But this has been awkward, and we don't have the distractions.
What's been awkward?
being alone? We're so used to
Oh,
having.
it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's super fucking weird.
Yeah, we're just so used to being distracted by our children.
I feel like this podcast is a little like I feel like our listeners are gonna be able to hear that we're like out of sorts right now.
Oh, it's completely
we're
fucking
fucking
chaos.
out of sorts.
Yeah, we're totally out of sorts.
It's fucking weird.
It's all brand new.
This is so brand new, and I want to like I'm the type of person that goes with the flow. I'm a yes person.
Mm-hmm.
You're not.
Okay.
I've learned that about myself.
Okay.
I'm
And
a
about
yes-
me.
And about you, yeah, you're not that. I'm
Okay.
that. You're not that, which is fine. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Got it.
It's just I'm more of like a yes, okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we can try that. Let's go do. But like, and I feel like that, like that's naturally who I am. But in this situation, it's like it's a challenge.
Is it a challenge? What's so challenging about it?
Like maintaining positivity.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just like, yes, I'm happy. I'm so happy. And then I see some things and I'm just like, no, but I'm still happy. Yes, yep, still happy. Good to go.
You know, the funny thing is that a lot of people go through this, especially couples. They don't really, they get so used to the same routine.
Mundane routine.
Yeah. And then when you shake up that normality and you throw something like this into the mix, you're suddenly like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot's happened in a month.
Yeah.
So like we were apart for a month.
Yeah, we were.
Actually.
A month and like a little bit over a month.
It was like a month and a few days. Yeah. So we were apart for a month and it started off like exciting. So like, like the first like week of being apart, it's like, yay, this is for our future and everything is
We're
great.
in this together.
And then we actually did the worst possible thing. We were like, oh, we should try to quit smoking our vape pens. Oh my God. It turned into just fucking chaos.
You're just a nightmare.
So then, yeah, I said I was a nightmare. So then you go like 2 weeks where we're just struggling, and then like every box arrives in Brooklyn, and I'm unpacking them.
I was just like sending you things daily to unpack and
so
build.
I'm having to unpack this stuff, and then everything, and it almost seemed like every time Janelle sold something or packed something in Napa, something would be delivered here. So while your surroundings was deteriorating to like this desert of nothingness,
it was so depressing.
I had this whole world and I couldn't share it with anybody because I was all by myself. And then every time I went to go out, I was like, Janelle would love this food, or like she would have
I know you're so weird about this. You're like, I can't do anything fun because I feel bad.
Yeah, because I'm like you were working. I'm over here looking for work, but you were actually working. So it was kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, so while you're out there busting your ass and trying to get shit taken care of on that, and I'm over here.
Very sweet of you.
Fucking hanging out in Manhattan, going to like clubs. Like I don't know what the fuck clubs there are anymore.
I don't know. There's a lot, but they're like secretive.
Yeah.
Like it's a secret society of clubs
It's
that
like,
go to like 9 a.m.
Like the first club we go to is probably gonna be called Hush, and it's gonna be a silent disco.
Be like those are fun.
No, but no one can even speak.
No, but you have to be like invited to those.
Yeah, we'll get invited. But it created like a lot of stress.
Yeah, it did.
And there's families out there or couples out there, I'm assuming, because I've talked to some and we've gone through this, where maybe they're away for work a lot, or they're not being able to spend enough time together, and there's all this stress, and then that stress becomes this like demon in the relationship.
Right.
And sometimes you can't just bang it out, because a lot of times you can get into a fight and then you just bang it out and you just fucking, it's over.
Make up sex or whatever. Yeah.
But we were in a situation where we were like, it was probably the first time we were fighting over, like, usually we fight because we don't like each other at that moment. It's like there's something specific that you did that made me hate you.
Yeah, it just like irritates each other.
Yeah, so that constitutes a fight. But the situation we were in was more like an uncontrollable situation.
No, and I couldn't just like scream in your face. It was like so frustrating because like I couldn't touch you. Because I think that we've been together for so long, and like a lot of the ways that we communicate are they're emotional and physical. So like I'm like a hugger, so I'm like, if we're arguing over some dumb shit, I'm like, just give me a hug, let's just hug it out. But like we couldn't hug it out. It was like we're arguing over nonsense. We didn't argue over anything serious.
No.
This is not do or die. This is not make or break.
No.
This is just like stupid shit that couples fucking argue, like, how
the
dare you, like, I'm not
mundane.
even like I'm not even in that apartment, but you didn't throw the boxes away, like keep the
we
apartment
didn't fight
clean.
About that, but
we didn't, but like it was like
it was dumb shit.
It was stupid like that. So we're arguing over this dumb shit, and then we couldn't properly even communicate because we're just like communicating over the phone.
And then it was like a 3-hour difference, so like I'm already exhausted.
And then Ron like loves to hang up on me, which like I literally would buy a $4,000 plane ticket just to like see him in person and like scream at him in person because he hung up on me. Yeah. I didn't do that, but I was tempted like multiple times.
Yeah, well, because we were arguing about nonsense, and it was just because we weren't smoking.
No, but you know that you annoy me
I know.
when you hang up on me.
Oh, I know.
Like it fucking pisses me off.
That's like the end
most.
game. That's like if I did a Thanos snap and like destroyed half the world. that is it. When I hang up on
Let's
you.
just bring your nerddom into it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oops, sorry, my nerd is showing. But that was a lot to like overcome, and the whole time all I can think about was that we're doing this to try to shake it up, and
and maybe
to test ourselves and to push ourselves,
and also maybe we could bring some new audience to our podcast.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah, bring meet new people and get new experiences.
Yeah, get new experiences.
There's only so many things you can do. Like, I think that in San Francisco, like, even if we did sex clubs, there's only like 3. So it's like even that would eventually like run out in like 2 days,
maybe,
or 3 days. I guess 1 day at each
Probably
sex club.
not.
But here, there's like so much stuff, and there's like so many people. Like, there's the experiences here. Like, most days when I come home from work on the train, I'm watching someone dance while the train is moving, which is really interesting because I'm like, this dude was doing a handstand and doing the leg split thing.
Yes.
And you could tell
like
he was
breakdancing.
He was real new at this. Like, he had his little tiny boombox. Like, it looks like he decided on Monday to become a dancer on the subway.
That's so sad.
And this was on like a Wednesday, so he was 2 days in.
2 days into breakdancing.
2 days into breakdancing on the subway, and he had some hat tricks down though. And then on another day I had a guy playing a flute. And then that was the time that some guy with a mental disability started screaming at the guy with the flute because it was too loud. And so he was like screaming and cursing and smacking himself. So then the guy with the flute just like sat down, and I was just like, okay, I guess that was one day. And then there's another day in which there was like a cellist as I was heading into the train.
I did see a man playing a violin. He was playing La Vie en Rose.
Oh, yes, that when we were in the city.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And then last night we were on the subway, and there was a very nice gentleman playing like Lionel Richie, Elton John. He played a little Queen.
He started
handing out marijuana on the train. Yeah. So lots of different
I was thinking if I had like $20 extra a week, I would just carry singles so that way I could share it with all the street performers.
No, I know, and I thought about that last night. But my sister had dollars on her, so she gave him some money. But he was mildly talented. Yeah.
There's just a lot of entertaining things. I think the people here now. Keep in mind, like I grew up here.
Me too.
Right? So I grew up here. In fact, I'm very close to the neighborhood I grew up in. I'm only like a mile and a half from where I grew up. And it's just something about seeing, like, going away for a long time and then living in Napa, Arizona, Los Angeles. I mean, because in Los Angeles, we really didn't do much. So we really didn't see much, but
we didn't really live in Los Angeles. No. We were there for like a minute. Yeah, we were in Orange County. We were in Orange County mostly.
Yeah. So, and then you go live that life, and then you come back here, and then you're just like, oh, okay, I see.
I don't know. Do you think our listeners really understand what we're even talking about?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's just like, when you say melting pot, like you really understand what that means when you're here in New York. Like, I really don't think it's like that anywhere else.
No, and I haven't really traveled through Chicago at all, but it's basically kind of like your senses, sight, smell, hearing, and taste are constantly going
I've been to Chicago.
At all times. And I'm saying here in New York. I can't speak to Chicago. I'm saying that here in New York, all my senses are constantly going. Because
everything is like raised to a certain level.
Yeah, I feel like Daredevil, where I could feel and see everything by just standing there, and taste. Like, you can taste the thickness of the air, you can smell the different smells.
Runs the dramatic side of this relationship, if you can't tell already. But it's okay. That's why we love him.
But it's just an interesting thing, and
it's true.
And I feel like I'm really like I'm getting deep into it.
You are?
Yeah.
How so?
I just feel like, like I'm taking the train. I take the train like every day. I'm just like oh, fuck it. This is my norm.
Yeah.
I went from driving everywhere, even if it was like a 2-minute drive.
Oh yeah.
We don't even have a car.
I was telling my sister, no, we don't have a car, and I was telling my sister I was basically giving this guy a lap dance the other day on the train because there was nowhere else for me to stand, and he didn't even bat an eye at it. He was just like, this is par for the course. He had his phone in front of his face.
Yeah.
He was looking at his phone game, whatever he was doing, and I had to smush in between his legs that were spread, and my legs went in between his legs. There was 50 people in the subway car. I don't even know. I can't even think. I don't even know if that's accurate. It could have been more. I don't think it was less, but it could have been more.
Right.
And I'm just thinking, like, I used to just, like, complain about my 3-hour commute to San Jose once a week, and now I'm, like, in the midst of just a flood
like 70.
of people.
Yeah, there's so many people.
It's a horde of people.
Yeah. Like if the zombie outbreak happened while I was
dead.
in the train.
We are dead. We're
it's like
done.
instant.
It's instant death.
Yeah.
Which is actually
for you.
Good for me, not good for you, because you want to try to survive.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, I'm just like, let me be eating a pizza and then have some zombie come and catch my ass.
Yeah, there's definitely no getting out. Like you're not going to survive
so
the zombie
people.
apocalypse.
No, definitely not. Yep, you're not going to do it.
There's so many people. the other day, we were just like anywhere in the country, there's a crosswalk. And when the light turns green, you get a little white man. I'm not trying to point out the person's color.
White lights.
But it's a white dude.
It's not a white man. Like, hey guys, it's okay to cross the street now. Like, it's not that. It's
no,
like
but you get what I'm saying.
White lights.
The white light with the
white
silhouette.
light figure.
With the figure that tells you can go.
Yes, the white bulbs.
Yes. That is actually not correct in New York. When that thing comes up, you still have to look where you're going.
I still look.
No, but hold on. And you can still get a car beep at you.
No, these
car
people
beeps.
that cross the street, they cross the street before that cross the street sign
I know,
comes
but
on.
I'm just saying,
they
like,
already know that it's about to happen, and
I know.
they take for granted that it's about to happen. And I'm sure people get run over by cars.
The other day I was crossing the street and the thing had
We're
turned
like
light.
parents. We're super parents.
So I'm
We
crossing
are.
the street. The light turns green. It gives me my white light and it says I can go. I look both ways. I'm completely fine. I step in there, and the moment I step in, this car's honking at me to go, and
everyone honks at everybody.
I'm like, I just started.
No, everyone honks constantly.
It's like Jesus, but and
you have to have the most amazing reaction time, like better than a fucking race car driver.
Yeah.
If you don't have the best reaction time, you're getting fucking honked at and harassed at a red light as it turns green.
Oh yeah.
Like I just can't even. We can go on like this for days.
So there was a lot of stress in that. There's a lot of stress in that month, and then now you got here and it's been 3 weeks, and then we had to unpack everything. And we had to get everything set up, and then that's been crazy. Mm-hmm. And then, being that we're here and like your family's here, so like everybody's like, oh, you're here, and everybody's together, and we're like doing 10-mile walks in Manhattan, eating food. Like we went out one day and we ate at like 4 different places.
And the food's pretty great.
And I don't mean
the food is pretty great.
I know it's delicious, but like we were eating, I ate like enough for a month's worth of food in like that one day. But that Cat's Deli pastrami, that freaking
it's $26 pastrami sandwich, but it's like it could feed 3 people easily.
It did. It actually fed like 5 because you guys all shared one half.
It. Yeah.
But there was just all this stress. And
so shout out to Cat's Deli.
Shout out to Cat.
That shit is great.
So it was just crazy. It's just been a very hectic and crazy time. So this is our first time where we can actually like set everything up, and we didn't have any plans today, and we're just like, okay, So we decided
like back to being us
Yes.
for a moment.
us-ish, because
Yes.
now we're trying to find out who that is,
Yeah,
who the new version of us is.
exactly.
Because this version of us, we're like, this isn't us.
I'm not in Napa anymore.
No, NorCal is beautiful, but there's something to be said. Like every day I go to work and then I come home and I feel like I not survived. I feel like survived is the wrong
No,
word.
I think that's accurate.
But I feel
No,
as though I
that's
accomplished
definitely-
something. Like
you conquered the
I
day.
conquered the day.
You conquered the day.
Like I actually feel like I feel more.
Did you feel proud of yourself?
No, not proud of myself, but
Because
I feel.
I think that some people that can try to live here might like come home and cry.
Mhm.
And I didn't cry yet, but I
No.
almost did.
You
I got
almost
lost
did.
on the subway.
You did. You got lost underground.
I got lost underground. I felt like a sewer rat. I was like, just get me the fuck out of this underground railway system. And it was the worst situation. It was the worst. And I could have went like up. You know what I should have done? I thought about this in retrospect. I should have just like gone to the top, to the street, gone to have a fucking drink, and then like regrouped.
Oh yeah, because we were talking
But
about that.
I was just like swirling and being lost, and I was trying to get home, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna figure this out. And I eventually did. Obviously, I made it home, but like it took me longer than it should have, and I should have just like went up to like fucking ran around Manhattan. I was like in Manhattan, like the coolest place in the country, in my opinion,
Right.
and which it is. And I should have just gone out to the street, found a bar, and like found a bartender named Joe, and like had a couple of drinks, and then like tried to figure it out after.
Because,
and then you even said like, I'll come get you. I'm like, no, you're not coming to get me. I don't need rescuing. I will figure this shit out. And I did. But that's like a hard moment where nobody gives a shit about you.
Right.
No one looks at you in the face. Nobody cares where you're going. They have their own agenda and they have their own place to be. And you're just like, you're on your own.
You are on your own.
You're totally on your
So
own.
when you get home, you feel like you conquered the day.
I just wanted to get home. I like literally just had my eyeballs on my home, and like you're like, you didn't realize that the sidewalk was busted up on the corner. I'm like, I didn't even see that. Like walking, and I saw like our corner, and I made the right turn, and I was like, no. I didn't even notice it. I didn't even notice it because I was like, I had like horse blinders on. Like I was just like, no, I'm finally fucking home. I just want to like be in my little nest, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I've been living on autopilot
Yeah.
previous to moving back here.
And now your senses are like popping off.
And then all of a sudden I have to like
Pay
I can't
attention.
like I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And that's including driving anywhere. Like if I had to
Anywhere.
drive an hour to work,
Yeah.
I still was autopilot. Like
Yeah.
I was just like But here I'm like you have to cross the street and people will run you
yes,
over.
They will run you over.
You're like you have to make sure you catch the right train, you know, and you have to like and then you got to make sure that you don't drop your fucking
no,
shit.
You're fucked if you drop your shit.
Oh my god, it's just like I'm definitely I feel I want to say I feel a little alive.
I do.
I feel a little I definitely feel more alive, or not. I guess maybe it's not alive, but I feel like I'm a living person, that I like that something bad can happen to me, you know, where like I'm more attentive to the fire around, and I'm like, okay,
what's possible.
Yeah.
Like the danger that's around.
Yeah, like
you felt totally safe.
Oh,
in Napa.
it was like I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was too. I don't know. I think I got too
Complacent.
complacent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just it's been it was a very crazy month and a half.
I almost feel like you like it more than I do, and I'm the one that wanted to do this.
Oh, I definitely think that I like it more than you do. But you know,
You did say you hate it, but then at the same time, you don't necessarily act
No.
like you do.
No, I hated the idea of moving back here. But since I've been here, I'm like, every day I just kind of start to progress a little more, and I'm just like, oh, this is fine.
I feel bad because this was my idea.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what to do with that. Like, I don't know how to feel about that because I had this grandiose idea of how I would feel when I got here. And I visited like a lot of times. I visited a bunch. You haven't even been back. You've not been back in
No.
10 years or something like that.
More than that.
I have been back 8 times in
Yeah.
between that time and like visited and gone out and stuff. But like living here is a little bit different than just visiting here.
Yeah.
it's a grind, and I don't know that this is something that I would want to do long term. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know,
I'm gonna try, but I made a vow to myself. I'm gonna try to enjoy the moments, and I'm gonna try to enjoy what I'm like, what's accessible to me.
Yeah.
We need to go out. I want to go to a club. I want to go dance. I want to go drink. I want to do all of that. So once I've done that, if I still hate it, then I don't know what to say. But like, I need to go do that. I want to go to the fucking museums. I want to go to Central Park. We haven't done any of that. We've been just trying to get acclimated to our surroundings. So at this point, we haven't really done anything like New York worthy. Like, we're just
doing food.
We're doing food, which
Food
is
in the train.
incredible. Food in the train. That's
basically it.
Yeah, but I want to go like explore more. So.
Well, I definitely think that this is actually important because it just kind of illustrates that that it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in control of how your reaction to the situation can be, and I actually think that like it's been quite an interesting. There's a little bit of an upgrade for me because I feel as though I'm having to be a person. Like I'm having to actually like in California, it's easy because like, you know, you go places and everybody's so sweet and so kind, and you're just kind of like, it just becomes a normal.
Yeah.
You come to a place like this and it's like you say hi to somebody and they don't even know you exist. And then they think it's like really weird. Something's wrong with you. And you're just like, oh. And then you, like that other day where that person says to you, okay, babe, have a good day. And then all of a sudden that became more special. And then now all of a sudden there's these moments that are actually more fulfilling than just an everyday, you know, NorCal experience. I don't know. I like it. I feel more alive.
It's very different.
It is. But, you know, we tried to make the best of, you know, our time apart. Like we were doing the whole Skype sex thing. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that was like interesting because we would be like totally miserable throughout the day. Like one time I'm talking to you and you have no bed and you're just laying on the floor of your room.
Yeah. I was sleeping on the couch for a little while.
Yeah.
Because I sold the bed.
And you're like, so you're on the floor in the room, and as hot as it is to watch you masturbate, there was a little bit I was just like, oh. And then wasn't that the time you found out someone stole your dildo?
Yeah, I was so frustrated. I was telling Chelsea from Reese and Rose this the other day on Snapchat. Like, I sold our bed. We had a beautiful like king size mattress and frame and headboard and the whole setup. And it's either that person or my child. So it's those two people that were in my bedroom, which is
right. And I definitely don't think it was our kid.
I don't think so. He would just go get one for his girlfriend. Like he wouldn't steal it from me. And I had 2 suitcases on the floor because I was getting ready to leave. This is very specific. Like I'm not going crazy here. I had this one toy from Reese and Rose that was like my favorite. It's the one with the bulb top.
The one that looks like the Hitachi.
Yeah, it has the big top part and then the bottom. And so I had that in my suitcase, but my suitcase was open, but I like tucked it under some clothing so that these people wouldn't see it. And they were just like getting a mattress out and getting the frame out. And then the next day we were trying to fuck on FaceTime, and then it was like, where the fuck is my dildo? Yeah. It was fucking gone. I was like tearing my clothes out of
pulling all the clothes out.
You saw me. I was like, what? Where could this have gone?
It's like, so traumatic.
It was very traumatic. I was like, this is my favorite one. What the hell? What's going on? No, I'm not losing my mind. No. Like, it was there like yesterday, and then it was gone.
And you said that you had just used it. So this person
Where could it have gone?
No, but this person took a used...
I know.
Masturbating.
And it wasn't clean. I didn't wash it. Like, I don't wash it immediately after use. Like,
I know.
I put it in the bag. I tucked it away. And then the next time I would have used it, I would have, like, washed it off real quick. Right. But, like, I hadn't washed it. But it's just weird to me. Like, I would never have done something like that. It's gone. Like, we have unpacked and packed. And have you seen it anywhere? No. Did it just evaporate into the... Like, it's gone. Yeah. Someone took my fucking dildo.
Yeah. Aha. That's funny. That's a pun.
It is a pun.
Your fucking dildo. Yeah. As opposed to your non-fucking dildo. But so it's
So irritated.
we've had it's been crazy, y'all. Like
No.
it's been super stressful. Life altering changes.
Yeah. Life altering. We're in New York.
I know. And it's just like, so it's hard to kind of like get your mind right on how you're going to like just function. I think today's like the first day where we actually like didn't do anything
Yeah.
other
Great.
than fill up our laundry bag with like 30 pounds worth of stuff and then walk it 5 blocks to go drop it off.
Yeah, because we don't have laundry here.
Oh my goodness.
But we have one washer and one dryer
I
in a
know.
basement.
I know.
That's really creepy.
Yeah.
There's not enough lighting.
There's enough lighting.
I don't know about
I don't
that.
know. But let's talk about the food.
Oh, yeah.
The food's amazing.
Don't even get me started. That's like food and sex. It's synonymous. It's like both of those things make me happy in life.
Oh my goodness.
And I can't.
The food's been ridiculous. We've had so much pizza. We've had Spanish food, some Puerto Rican food, not Mexican food. We've had Puerto Rican food. We went to Little Frankie's for Italian food. They had that lemon butter pasta. Ooh,
It's like you're just talking dirty to me now.
yeah. I know you. And you just went out yesterday and you went to this place and there was like all these different eateries. It wasn't that amazing.
Oh, we went to Smorgasbord,
Yeah.
Brooklyn. They used to do it in, I don't even know what the hell it's called, but it's like on the water, like overlooking Manhattan. It's on the Brooklyn side of the
Williamsburg?
Hudson now. Yeah, it's in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
But because of the weather, they put it indoors. So it's like on the 8th floor of this building on 25 Kent Avenue. And it's all these different food vendors and wine and beer and desserts and pizza and empanadas and ice cream. I mean, it was ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And that food comes at a cost.
But then they also, yes, it does. But they also have like a vintage flea market where they sold records and clothing and earrings, like things like that, where it's like custom stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really cool too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just there's so much stuff it's to see and to put your hands on and to
Yeah.
feel. I mean, the experience is so much more. I don't know if tactile is the right word, but it's so much more like hands-on. Like everything has purpose. Like you definitely feel your environment. You see your environment.
It's
you're
like an immersive.
interacting.
It's immersive.
Yes, it's an immersive.
It's an immersive experience.
Which you can't get. I don't know. You can't get that anywhere.
I mean, we've lived in several different spots, and
Yeah.
I've never experienced this.
No, even when I lived here, because when I lived here and grew up in Brooklyn, I couldn't enjoy Brooklyn because I had to always leave Brooklyn in order for my own safety. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I never really got to do all of that stuff as a kid, and then by the time I was a teenager and I was going to the city and stuff, I didn't know what was happening. Like I didn't realize that there were places like Lombardi's or anything like that, like food wise. It was just more like
that wasn't a priority.
yeah. So it was just more like you go to the city and then you go back.
And also, you're so young, and you are just familiar with what you grew up with.
Yeah.
You weren't looking to like, what's the best wood-fired fucking pizza in
Yeah.
New York? Like at that age, there's no way that you could have
Right.
appreciated that.
But then when I went to the city and when I met your sister for lunch when we went to Parm, I'm walking down Mulberry Street for the first time in my whole life, basically. And I felt like, whoa, like all these shops and
I
it's
love
beautiful.
that
And
place. I love that.
and I was able to, so I really, like, I was able
That's
to
Little
really
Italy.
feel, yeah,
That's Little Italy.
I was able to feel like I was really involved. But one of the hardest parts about being a part, especially with all the stress and stuff, was that it was like the lack of physical contact. You know, like porn yet does not touch you yet. You know, I'm pretty sure putting on a bodysuit in the future where, you know,
It's still not a person.
no, but I'm just saying. So like I was missing like the whole kissing and touching and feeling and.
You were saying that like you just wanted to kiss a person.
Yeah, and I didn't realize the fun fact, y'all. Like at 3 a.m. on our corners, there's prostitutes, which I was just like, because you arrived about 3:30 in the morning, so I went outside to help you.
AJ, our younger son, and I drove across country And we just wanted to get here, and we drove from Chicago to New York City in one day, and we arrive at 3:30 in the morning the next day.
Yeah, so I go to help you with the
Yeah,
bags.
and there was like
And I was
7
yeah,
prostitutes outside.
and I was like so frustrated because had I known, I could have gotten my kiss.
A couple of herpes, possibly. But,
You know,
yeah,
it's like
possible.
it's nothing a shot can't
I
cure.
love the fact that I drove up and I'm like super duper tired, like driving for all these hours. And I said, "Oh, we're pulling up to our apartment." And I was like, "Oh wow, there's prostitutes, okay." And then our kid is like, "Mom, how dare you? They're not prostitutes. They're just nice. They're nice ladies. They're just dressed up. They're probably just out having a good time." I'm like, child of mine.
But then
It is 3:00 in the morning, and they're
30
standing
minutes
on a
later,
corner.
they were still there.
I'm not slut shaming anyone, honey. I'm just telling you that they're definitely selling something, and it's not like cookies on the corner.
And they're still there at like 6:45 because I went
yeah, they're
somewhere.
working hard.
I went somewhere at 6:45 in the morning.
You went to work.
No,
Where'd you go at 6:45 in the morning?
So and then I see this person on the corner, and I was just like, oh man, I was like, wonder when they clock out. Like, is it like a 3 to 7? Is it a 4-hour shift? How much
I don't
money
know.
they
This
make?
makes me uncomfortable talking about this, but basically, that's the environment. You know, it's
Yeah.
just it's eclectic and
It's
there's-
eclectic.
It's eclectic, and there's lots of different things going on.
Yeah, it's very lively.
Very lively.
It's very lively.
Always stuff to see.
So what is next? So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to have episodes out every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
That'll
No, we're
be-
not gonna try. We're going to
Yeah,
do.
so-
There
so
is
that-
no try. Only do.
Oh, look, and my nerd showing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So well, we'll get into what the actual saying is. I'm not doing it right now, but
Shut the fuck up. I
but
don't
we're gonna
give a
have new
shit.
episodes out every Tuesday. This one is just this one is our like get the spider webs out, you know, give everybody an update as to what we're doing, and then we go back to business as usual. And then Janelle can tell you all
It's
on
like
the
if you haven't been fucked in a while and you're just getting back into the swing of it. Like you're just like not hot and heavy right away. You're just
Right.
like, well, I haven't fucked in like 3 years and it's been a dry spell and I'm just getting my pussy wet for the first time. You're not gonna be like all that you can be. So like that's where we're at right now.
But on the next episode, we're gonna talk about
on the next episode,
we're gonna talk about how the differences like friends with benefits versus jerking off. So basically, you know, that's what we're gonna go over. So
And
that
what
way,
are fuckboys? What are fuckboys?
what are fuckboys?
How do you define a fuckboy?
Okay, we'll figure all that out.
We'll figure all that out.
But thank you so much for hanging out with us and listening to like our, I don't know, nonsense. The shit
this
that we
was like
spew.
a therapy session for us.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's always a therapy session.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, but we missed you
appreciate it.
all, and
Yeah.
this was so fun, and we can't wait till next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, take care.
Bye.
So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.